copy this too. All right. Let's do this. Should already have this pulled up. Just to make sure we live. Yep. We live. All right. We'll be right back. All right, all right, all right. Welcome back to the Warrior Scholar Show. We have a special guest. We'll let him introduce himself in a minute. But this is the Warrior Scholar Show. So I want to always define what a warrior is, what a scholar is, and from my perspective, what a warrior scholar is. So these are some simple, brief definitions. A warrior scholar is, well, first, I'm Kofi Piesie. Kofi Piesie, member of the Mossy Warrior Clan, a member of Kofi Piesie research team, and a new member of Team RBG. But let's get into it, man. A warrior is a soldier, combative, one who wages war, right? Wages war. A warrior is a person who engage in warfare broadly, a person engaged in some struggle or conflict. A scholar is a person attends a school or studies under a teacher, a pupil, a person who has done advanced studies in a special field, a learned person, a holder of scholarship. A scholar is a person who studies as a subject in a great deal, especially at a university. A warrior scholar. What is a warrior scholar from my perspective, right? From my perspective, when unifying both words, it is someone who is well studied, and wages in war against mistruths, pseudoisms, and willing to stand on the battlefield against institutions and platforms that promote that. A warrior scholar is someone who is on a mission for the truth, for accurate and sound information. A warrior scholar is one who has discipline, good characters, morals, and willing to fight back against those who use misinformation dangerously. That is what a warrior scholar is from my perspective. And this brother, who is on the platform today, is definitely a warrior scholar and who has definitely been on the front line to liberate the minds of our people, right, and change the circumstances in Black communities worldwide. Brother Knowledge Born, could you please introduce yourself briefly for those who may not know who you are?
Honored to be here with you, Brother Kofi, in this illustrious platform. I'm Knowledge Born Law hosting founder of Do Not Radio, CEO of DTK Multimedia, and creator of Voices of the Diaspora ebook series and documentary series.
All right, all right, all right. So, this first question, man, is always a question that I ask everybody that come on the Warrior Scholar Show, right? And I'm interested to know too, can you name a few of your warrior scholars? Who is some knowledge born a la warrior scholars?
I was waiting for this question because I tuned into your platform. I said, man, my brother is so cold with the research and the questions. I was like, man, I was double excited to see it and see
Yeah.
and hear what you do. My first warrior scholars are my mother and father.
Okay.
My mother and father exemplified warrior scholarship. So they were out in the street helping us raise up from a mentally dead state.
Mm-hmm.
And some deteriorated bodies are physically on near death experience. You understand what I'm saying? So they were out in the highways and the byways. I'm from New Jersey. They was in New Jersey and New York and everywhere that their feet could carry them because they walked a lot of the times. To go into these neighborhoods and help people get off drugs and people get out of prostitution and all kinds of things, all kinds of maladies. So my first warrior scholars was my parents. And then after them, I can move into the modality of some of the others. We're celebrating one today, Dr. Bobby Eugene Wright. His birthday is today. Peace and blessings be upon him. A week ago, almost, Dr. Amos Wilson, his birthday. He's definitely one of the warrior scholars. And
Yes.
the epitome of a warrior scholar, a brother in the man, Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. Another warrior scholar who accompanied a warrior scholar is Dr. Betty Shabazz, peace and blessings be upon her. And Amy Jacques Garvey and Amy Ashwood Garvey, who gave legway to the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Sister Clara Muhammad gave rise to the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So many of the warrior scholars that I love and I lean from and glean from, and Sister Dr. Ava Muhammad as well, peace and blessings be upon all of them, are warrior queens. Dr. Oya Ma'at, definitely a warrior scholar. You understand what I'm saying? Dr. Oya Ma'at, I have a esteemed amount of love and respect and honor for her and her scholarship and her fearlessness. You understand what I'm saying? Like that's, and she embodies that to the max. One of my elders, Baba Ajay Taimba of Harlem Liberation School, definitely a warrior scholar. Dr. Inwalimu Baruti and his wife, Dr. Yabaruti, definitely warrior scholars. Baba Amin Ojuwo and his queen, Mama Nkoyo Ojuwo of the Uhuru Academy, warrior scholars. So from then to now, I derive my inspiration, motivation for many of them. My wartime general, General King Samir Shabazz, the Khalid Muhammad militia, definitely a warrior scholar and just a warrior overall. We put all of those things together. So those are some of my influences. The list get long. Yeah, what I'm saying? The list get long. So definitely
Yeah. No doubt,
honor
man.
to all.
Them some heavy hitters too, man. Those are some heavy hitters, and I can see, you know, that runs deep in your blood. You said first and foremost your mother and your father, man, and you know, you described what they definitely was doing out there in the community, man. They was trying to build and not destroy. You know what I'm saying? And I see, that's embedded in your blood, and you continuing their legacy, man, by continuing to build, and not destroy. Continue to try to free and liberate, the minds of our people, man. Um, what this said, peace, good brother. Not okay. All right, y'all. Please like and share the show. Please like and share the show. Man, so your connection to your African. Oh, no. Hold on. All right. Many of many of my guests adopt names with deep historical and cultural and spiritual significance. Can you share the meaning behind your name, Knowledge Born Allah, and how has it reflected in your mission?
Definitely excellent question, right?
Mhm.
Knowledge born a lot rep- represents my family lineage. A lot comes from that family lineage, a succession from my father's paternal and maternal lineage going back to Benin, right? So
Okay.
Allah is in that space of the family name. We are from the family of Allah. We are from the family of God in that essence. And knowledge born represents a scientific space of the process of elimination
Mhm.
to take information that you receive through a filtration system of 9 steps, which begins at knowledge and ends at born.
Mm.
So to take things from knowledge to born, and represented an ode to a rites of passage I received after going through an initiatory rites of some sort in regards to coming into being and being reborn in spirit and truth in that way, from
Mhm.
Islam the religion to Islam the science.
Mhm.
So I was dealing with Islam before before birth and to present. You see what I'm saying? And the culminating uh, personages and vestiges in regards to African culture as well. So that's my foundation and that's my capstone. You see what I'm saying? So
Okay.
all of it all together, deeply rooted in the season and the manner in which I was born in. So going from knowledge to born and then from born back to knowledge is a necessity in regards to what your thoughts and ways and actions are filtered through based off of what you receive as information.
No doubt, no doubt. Appreciate that, my brother. Appreciate that. Because a lot of people that come, like I said, comes on this platform have these uh, deep rooted and significance behind their name, and I wish a lot of us would, you know, do that far as moving forward. And because I'm a Pan Africanist, right? And I'm deeply rooted in African culture and understanding. You mentioned the rites of passage. So even when you get to the naming right, which is the first step in the rites of where actually being born and then naming the child, right? They don't foresee name the child right off, right? In certain cultures in Africa, some it depends on whether you're male or female. It may be 7 days, it may be 14 days, it may be 30 days, and the community names along with the family. And this name is tied to that person's destiny, right? You know what I'm saying? So that person grows up and it has this significance behind his name. So he grows into its purpose. You know what I'm saying? Now we just naming our kids Mercedes and concrete and tree. And it doesn't have any type of significance or meaning or any type of purpose behind that. So I just always, a lot of these people that come on, I'm grateful they come on, they share, the significance and the backstory behind them renaming themselves, right? Um, yeah, man. Do the Knowledge Radio, man, serves as a platform for addressing uh, psychodynamic trauma, social challenges, and systematic issues affecting Black people. What inspired you to create this space, and how has the journey evolved over time?
You ain't playing over here today, Kofi. You
No,
understand? You
sir.
ain't playing. Just, okay. I know you're writing the book, but we want that book right now. Okay. Yeah, I love it. Big Nas Radio, it's true to its description. Uh, my parents come from the conscious community, so I reject so-called because my parents walked those same streets that the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey walked, that Father Allah walked, that Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad walked, that Steve Coakley Sr. walked. They all walked those same. My parents walked those same streets.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like I said, help people get off drugs. Help people. My mother ran with Dr. Matula Shakur, peace and blessings be upon them both. Helping people get off of heroin. You see what I'm saying? All kinds of things. So it was a whole bunch of maladies that was associated with it. So Do Radio was birthed out of that space of being a voice for the voiceless. There are a bunch of people. You could hear a Dr. Sabi's name, peace and blessings be upon him, but there were hundreds, if not thousands, of people that was with him. So you might hear one name, but you don't see everybody that's associated with it. So Do Radio was birthed out of giving that credence of that voice. So as long as someone calls your name, you live forever, right? So we call the names, we get together, and we pour libation, we drum, we sing, we dance, we do all of those things in regards to those people who came before us, our ancestors, our ancestors. I don't know the ancestors. I never heard of the ancestors. I don't know who they are because everybody got ancestors. So when I say our and mine, it's possessive. So that disciplines my behavior as well. So when you think about those things and take those things into account, do the knowledge is investigative. It's an action. It's something you have to implement physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. You have to walk. You have to talk. You have to walk and talk. You understand what I'm saying? So that place of doing the knowledge, you have to also study. You also have to learn. So this is an accumulation of facts through observation. So that process of doing action. So, what I shared with you before we went live about the first episode, what is consciousness? I wanted a working definition. Dr. Amos Wilson in the Blueprint for Black Power tells us what consciousness is from his perspective, right? But if you ask 500 people or five, you're going to get 500 different answers or five different answers. So in order for us to work with something functional, we want something to function, we have to have functional definition. So that was the guys. And when we set up the platform was structured for the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And you asked how it has it evolved. It evolved from Saturday and Sunday to a couple of days out of the week to every day out of the week. And it was a point where we were on 7 days a week. I said I added an eighth day, African day. You understand what I'm saying? 8 days, a week and 25 hours out of the day, because we're competing against a relentless enemy that never goes off. Like, I don't know your age, but when I was young, the television used to go off. You understand what I'm saying? Like, the television used to go off. Boom. The television don't go off no more, Kofi.
Yeah, midnight is off.
Right. So it was off, and then you only caught the shopping network.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So now, if you're dealing with programming and indoctrination, and that's running 24/7, and you on for 2 hours out of the day, you got to contend with the other 22 hours.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And our people sometimes suffer from amnesia, right? There was this movie with Adam Sandler called 50 First Dates. And every time that girl went to sleep, she woke up, she forgot who he was. No matter what he did the day before, every single day, all those dates, everything that he did, he tried his best and all that. The whole community was trying to help her. She went to sleep and woke up and forgot who he was. So she went to sleep and woke up and forgot. So you could do all of this arduous work and task of giving the books and the science and everything, right? And then an hour later, they forgot what you said. You understand what I'm saying? So you're like an hour later, they forgot. They don't even go to sleep and wake up and forgot. They forgot an hour later. It might be 5 minutes later. You understand? So the need presented itself, and we wanted to give credence and ode to our ancestors, our elders, our peer group, our youth, and those who are coming, in our lineage. So that Sankofa effect, we look back
Right.
to move forward and give
Yes.
that light and credence to those worthy of celebration. So the precipice and motivation behind Do Not's Radio is dedicated to my mother and my father, my grandmother and my grandfather, and that line I descend from and ascend back to. So in their oldest celebration, I wake up every day looking for black people, African people to celebrate. So that's been its evolution and its revolution ever since its inception.
Okay. Most definitely, man. Great platform for those who don't know, and sitting up on the rock, man. He has a great platform, Do the Knowledge radio. You can catch it on YouTube, you can catch it on Instagram, Facebook, and so forth, man. He's we was talking the off camera, well offline rather, and this brother say he has 3,500 episodes, right? So he's been putting in the work. So when he just made the thing, he went from going from the weekend to a couple of days out of the week to 7 days a week to 8 days a week, 25 hours in a day. You know what I'm saying? He definitely was doing it. He was definitely putting in the work, right? He was definitely putting in the work, man. So, man, I salute you on that, man. And like I said, man, it takes determination, man, and will, to continue to been doing this because you say you've been doing this for what, almost a decade now?
That's it.
Almost a decade, right? And um, I salute you for that because I know at times that we mentioned burnout. Sometimes people can get burnout, or people will come on the scene and we'll see people for a few years, and then boom, they gone, and you don't see the people no more. So this brother stood the test of time, and the reason why he's standing the test of time is due to Knowledge Radio, man. That platform is a platform of integrity, right? It's a platform of for the people, really for the people. We have a lot of people in this space that says they for the people, but in all actuality, they are for themselves. But this brother has proven himself, his platform has proven himself that they are for the people. He are trying to liberate the minds, and I'm gonna keep saying that, liberate the minds of our people. He's definitely trying to build and not destroy. Um, the voices I want to talk about, man, this ebook, man. Your voices of the diaspora ebook series covered a wide range of critical topics, from Black entrepreneurs to revolutionary leaders to STEM innovators. What was your progress in curating these works, and why was it important to present these ebooks rather than a traditional format? And also too, within that, I'm
Mhm.
a publisher and a writer, so I'm looking at something also that you was doing. Like I said, I read three of your books. I read. I want to give the names of the books. The first three were "Voices of the Diaspora," "Stories of the Black Entrepreneur Building a Better Future," um, the 100 Inspired Black Women's who changed the world, which definitely I'm going to let my daughter definitely has to read this ebook here. And I also read uh, Black Revolutionaries Leaders from uh, Africa to America, but the other three are Warriors of Freedom, Black Liberation Around the Globe, Volume 4, uh, Empowering I'm blind. I ain't got one. Empowering Minds, The Black Innovators Who Transform STEM, Volume 5. I definitely got to check that one out too. Reclaiming Our Narratives to Empower Black Minds, which is the last one of those series. Um, and me noticing as me reading the first three and skimming through the last three, those ebooks is not uh they're not over 30 and 40 places. Was that strategic behind doing that also? And why not it being a physical? and was that your cheesy for it being an ebook, instant access versus physical? But just go into the process of creating a thing. I know I said a whole lot within that.
It's all good. You was right on time, like you always on time.
Thank you, sir.
If you picked up Dr. Amos Wilson's book, A Blueprint for Black Power, right? If you picked up Dr. Remember I Need Urugu's book, right? And you picked up those books and say, hey, read this book. Folks got them on their shelf. You know, they do the book challenges. We see them. We peep them out, right? They slick, right? They on live with 1,000 books in the background and all that, right? You know, but those books ain't got no creases in them. You understand? Right. Like it look good. Yeah. It look good. So, you know, these are intimidating books, right? Yes. They are intimidating books. They, you know, we're not saying in acculturating them with their actual usefulness or utility. We appropriate it with appearing to have been well read and well studied, and you're a phenomenal researcher, so you know the empirical data and how you have to skim through a whole bunch of things to get one thing. You understand what I'm saying? And it better be substantial. You understand what I'm saying? So you might read 10 books to get 2 quotes. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Or 10 peer-reviewed journals or articles or magazines or whatever it is, the amount of time dedicated to that. So that's the process. So they all put their time in as well. So when you see those books, they're daunting. You're like, nah, fam, I ain't about to read that. You know, if you read the Bible or the Quran, you seen them. You're like, I ain't, yeah. All right, fam. I'll let the preacher do it. I'll let the imam do it. I'm not doing that work. So I did not want to present the works that I'm working on that are like the Bible size, that are initially, because once they see that, they're out of there. So they're going to associate you with that, and they're not going to read those books. Okay, and the point was to read those books. So, you know, I did something beguiling, right? I did something slick. I gave a book in the format that was not the traditional ebook. You got to scroll up type of situation because your finger, you'll scroll through social media all day, but you ain't about to scroll through no book, man. Like I already know it. So I did the thinking for it. So, you know, the process was I wrote the books and I got with an editor who was dope with formatting, and we found some software that was dope for the format. So, you know, when you clicked on the book, you saw it, you saw the cover, you like, all right, you heard some music immediately. You're like, wait a minute, I saw some music. It's some inviting and warm colors and some pictorial images. You look at yourself, and then boom, you're going through the pages, and the pages give you the swoosh. Like you literally like, oh, this feels like a real book. Yep. Because if you read books or you don't read books, either way it goes, it has the format and the aesthetic of a real book without you having to carry around a bunch of books. You can carry a bunch of books in your phone, but they ain't the PDFs that we got. Like, you see what I'm saying? So it was the format that was inviting and pleasing, and it wasn't 1,000 words on the page. You could navigate through it seamlessly. So it's packed with information, it's packed with action steps, and it's packed with a bunch of resources for you to go do further research on what you want to do. So, for instance, if you want to be an entrepreneur, I gave you case study curriculum. Case study curriculum. You could take each one of the people that is named in there and do your own research. These aren't necessarily everybody that I would, recommend in regards to entrepreneurship. But when I did my research, you have to have some sort of name recognition and pictorial representation to grab the attention of young people, because we give them a full-time job, Brother Kofi. We give them to go to school 10, 12 hours out of the day. And they're making them read in school. So reading is presented to them like work. They're not learning about themselves, and they don't feel good in the environment that they're in. So if you got some music, you got some pictures, and then you You have some activities for them to be able to work with and work through. If you're an adult and you don't have the articulation to give to your children, you could use this as a script, as a
Mhm.
guide. Like, hey, we're gonna do this
Mhm.
project together. We're gonna learn about Booker T. Washington. Everybody gonna make something. Everybody gonna come back and check out their findings, and everybody gonna present their findings. So that's a more close knit type of situation, intimate situation, based off of a couple of pages out of the book. I didn't
Mhm.
want 500 pages in the book. I
Mhm.
wanted a few pages out of the book for you to be able to transition and go on to the next one. So it's like, oh, that was Kofi. I'm gonna be real with you real quick, right? My sons, right?
Mhm.
My sons that came out of me. You understand?
Mhm.
I was like, hey, I wrote these books. They was like, oh, okay, daddy. Yeah. I was like, I sent them to you. You go check them out. They're like, when I get to them, daddy, you know what I'm saying? I got a lot of stuff going on, blah, blah, blah. I said, fam, the books is 19 and 20 pages. Oh, when I seen that, I was like, yeah, I cracked the code. I cracked the
Mhm.
code with my children. You understand? So
Mhm.
other children would look at and other adults, right? So they're like,
Mhm.
oh, I'm gonna read them right now.
Mhm.
This is daddy, this was now they go into
Mhm.
school like my daddy write books. What your daddy do? You understand what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Oh, I'm about to be
Mhm.
writing books like my daddy.
Huh?
Like it worked like that in
Mhm.
succession. So if nobody else read the books, my children read the books.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? More people have read the books, but my children, they were excited about reading those books, excited about hearing the music. That's the music that they listen to with me all the time. So now they see the books, they see the videos, they got the visuals, they got the music. It's something for every part of the brain, whether it's
Mhm.
analytical or creative. So I'm
Mhm.
bombarding the mind of Black people to get them to have a love affair with themselves again as they are, not as how they pretend to be performative in these social circles. So
Mhm.
that was the goal. And it was definitely something very strategic and very intentional in regards
Mhm.
to mapping out a strategy to reorient the mind towards the love of self.
Mhm. And I looking, like I said, I'm a publisher. I had a publisher company. I'm a writer, and when I looked at that and I seen the thing, like far as like the action items, the action steps, you're actually you're sharing brief information. You're giving some of the quotes from these individuals, some inspiring quotes. Then you're giving some action steps in there, and then just looking at the theme also of the less for page accounts. And 2 years ago, I'm trying to keep up with the times. And a lot of times, what I see and that upsets me in our space is we continue to fall in the rut of outdated stuff. And we not paying attention to what's really going on in the world and how can and we're trying to we wondering why we're not being effective anymore because the world is steady changing, things are steady changing in front of our face, but we want to hold on to the old way. So my first couple of books and the research group books that we put out, we those was two, three, 400 because I come from a place where I'm reading a Dr. Ben's book. He has three, four. I'm reading an Amos Wilson book, right? Um, I'm reading the Chancellor Williams. So I build up that tolerance. I love those big books. So I'm not intimidated by that book, but everybody else is not me. Everybody's not a knowledge born. So those things can get intimidating over the years, you know, of me saying, hey, I wrote these books. Hey, I have a research group. We wrote these books as a collective, right? And when they look at the page count, it intimidates people. So a lot of people on the strength was support and buy the book, but I didn't buy the book. I bought the book to produce the book to make money. But I also, the most important thing is I want you to read the book. I'm trying to recondition your mind to think a normal way. I'm trying to uh, uh, boost your self-esteem. I'm trying to show you exactly what our ancestors did. They say our ancestors didn't contribute nothing to the world. These are the things that our ancestors. So I'm trying to show them all these things, right? But they buying the book, that's cool, but they're not reading the book because these are 2, 3, 400 pages book. So over the past 2 years, the books that I have put out, they are 100 or less pages. And then this year, well, the end of last year, I have a team. I have so many different teams, writing teams, but they're I forgot what we could agree our collective. So writing collective. And we're producing small ebooks, 10, 15, the same way that you are doing, 10 or 15 pages, and it's being more effective because now we're getting more response and we're getting more people that are able to read it, and we're condensing the information down and just enough where they're able to grasp. And if they want to further their further their studies, we have sources in the back of the book where they can go through and further their story, further whether it's reading an article, whether it's reading a journal, reading a blog, or reading a book, you know what I'm saying? So when I looked at it, I knew that's why I asked the question. I knew it was strategic for you to have those less pages like that. And I want to say, man, those ebooks was greatly put together, from the format to the layout, to the spacing, and to the writing. You did an excellent job in condensing that information and making it interesting where somebody wants to read. Because I started reading yesterday, and then I read the other one, and then I read the third one late last night before I passed out. And my goal was to read the other 3 today, but eventually I had some other commitments. I had, I'm running a business, so I had some, and I didn't even want to work to make no money. I wanted to finish reading these other 3 because, they was exciting. I read the first one, boom, I knocked it out, got on the other one. Hey, okay, let me, I'm looking at it. So the format, the layout, and the spacing is also another thing where I see that I've been pushing for a long time. We have to get out of the outdated method where the spacing is, the words is bunched up on top of each other. The font is too small. That's why my eyes are bad now. A lot of the old books, a lot of our great heroes, a lot of our great scholars books from the past, their writings, have always been small fonts, always been words on top of each other. So just looking at it from a publisher standpoint, man, it was well put together. Looking at it from a writer and an author standpoint, it was written very well, man. So I want to, shout you out, shout the editor out who also helped out with the project, and software. That software, I was looking when you signed it, when I bought it, and I was looking at the software. I said, okay, this is the same software I use for my magazine. My Selling magazine is a online digital magazine. I have physical copies too, but I wanted to be instant gratification. And I knew that was the same thing with you for us not printing the published book. You want to be able to provide a resource and a tool where they can get it at their fingertips, instant access. They don't have to order it, and then they have to wait 3 to 5 or 6 days for the book to arrive in the mail. They pay for it, they get it right off the rip. You know what I'm saying? So again, man, I appreciate you, man, for keeping up with the times, man, and moving with the times and coming out of those outdated methods and thinking of a way on how to reach the people quick, fast, in a hurry. And, you know what I'm saying, making it interesting, because we're living in an age right now where the attention span is this short. So we have to, and because even if you look at social media, and you're producing content on social media, reels are 130 seconds, you know what I'm saying? A post can be certain. So, and they understand that too, of the short attention span. So we have to be the same way in order for our methods to be effective and be able to produce something that's short and powerful and impactful at the same time, So again, man, I salute you, man, for that. And anybody that don't have that Voices of the Diaspora ebook series, please hit my brother up, Knowledge Born Allah. Hit him up, man, and get him, man, all those series, man. And those are things that I feel like they're not only written for the adults, but they're written for the children. I mean, it's either like the second one I read about the women. My daughter is definitely gonna read that today. Even some of the women that he had in there that I read, some of those women I wasn't even familiar with at all. So I learned a lot, even though I'm a avid reader, you know what I'm saying? I'm a heavy researcher. There's still things that I don't know. And there's still things that I'm learning, man. So hold on, let me plug this up. My computer about to die. Hold on, y'all. All right. There we go. Computer was about to die. But yeah, man. So man, reach out to Knowledge Born Allah, man, and get those seeds. Help revive our ancestors' reputation by imitating their commitments to truth. Teach your children to do the same. Speak the truth always. Most definitely, most definitely. Man, so let's get into, man, the next question, man.
If we could, real quick, could I go through
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
could
for
we
sure.
put volume 6 up on the screen real quick, so they can see it?
Okay, hold on a second. Let me pull it up. Let me go to my email address and I'll throw it up. I should have just
put it on the screen. All you got to do is allow me to share.
Oh, okay. You already got it up there. Okay. All right. You got to do nothing else. Okay. There you go. Right there.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. You know what I'm saying? So this one was created fully by me. So this one is volume 6, and I got a chance to learn this process. Volume 1 through 5 was illustrated and edited by my brother D Banks of D Banks Design. So he did a phenomenal job. And I went through that daunting task because he has some things to do. So it's like, all right, one of my folks said, do it yourself and do it now. So I went and sat down and went through the process, and I understand why people charge what they charge to do what they do, because you're asking somebody to go through every bit of your body of work and format it and all those things you miss, because we got emotional attachments to the things that we create. You understand what I'm saying? So that's either something revealing or something that's a blind spot. So I'm like, all right, let me act like I didn't read this at all. Like I didn't write it or whatever. Like, let me go through every little nook and cranny, and I wanted to present, a finished product. So every single thing, everything that's on this thing right here, I put it all on there. You know what I'm saying? Like I put it all on there. And the music is from the greatest of all time, Tahir RBG. You understand what I'm saying? You can argue with your brother and them about who you think. But as far as African people, as far as Black people, one who stood for us and never forsaked us, we should all embrace him. Tahir RBG. Y'all may know him from Dead Prez. I just know him as an African warrior. You understand what I'm saying? That stands unapologetically for African people. So this is his song that's here, and also the song that will be featured when we talk about the docuseries is here. So I just want to flip through the pages while you hear the music real quick, if that's okay.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
So you see the aesthetic.
Iba Ọlọ́jọ́ ni, Iba Olódùmarè. Bàbá mi ẹ̀ṣú mọ̀ kíyìn. Ẹ̀ṣú ẹlẹ́gbà pàpà wọ́rà ọ̀nà àdìbọ̀dẹ̀ ẹlẹ́gbà túkámáṣẹ́ ẹlẹ́gbà ọ̀chú hàn ọ̀dàdà kólórí ẹ̀ǹjọ̀ làróyè. Mọ̀ kíyìn bàbá mi ẹ̀ṣú ẹlẹ́gbà. Mọ̀ kíyìn Ṣàngó oníbọ̀dẹ̀ Ọ̀yá. Ọba àkóso olójú orógbó. Olójú orógbó. Olójú iná, ọba àkóso olùfẹ́rà, ọba heavy oso, àràrá ọba Ṣàngó.
Baba Tahir, last name RBG. For the next 20 years, they gon' follow me. Way too humble at times, biters be banking on it. Now I'm thinking on it when I cut on the beat. And the verse starts spilling like a rooster ever. I used to set off the cipher, now the hype is the street. Praying I would give it up. Yeah, I'm hip to your wishes. Hatred's a sickness, and I can detect it without speech, hater. More flavors than some now laters. Small country town invader, profound, powerful innovator. Stay on the road like a Winnebago racing at Talladega. I major alley traders like a skater would. How I'm doing, I'ma say I'm good. Even if I wasn't, I'd never admit it. I'm seasoned and gifted and black. Every rap got apps getting you lifted. Classic flowetry, picturesque with it, so vivid, homie, you know it's me. Who else sound like liquid gold and killing shows, repping for the indigos? Priests, priestesses, and practitioners. Marathon finishers, jealous heart diminishes. You think I'm braggadocious with it cause you bogus. Get it only when it's given to you cause it ain't living through you. The only jewels that I'ma drop this verse. You won't stop treating me like I'm worthless. Before my daughters start reaching out in their purses. Daddy hood start conjuring up them curses. Made a pact airtight, the night nurses fight hard on my regard in all circuits. Bruh, you don't know that life. Reading.
So that's, volume 6 in a nutshell right there.
No doubt, no
It
doubt.
was an exciting journey, you know what I'm saying? Exciting journey to see it come to light. And, every single thing that's here that's listed is researched and, featuring our scholars. You see Dr. Bahina Bello, you see Baba Baruti and Yabarudi and Dr. Remember Ani, Nina Simone, our brother Oba Adedayo. You see what I'm saying? Like we get into a good habit of looking back, but we don't look in the present. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We don't look in the present oftentimes and, honor those who are here right now in real time doing these things. So, I wanted to include people who've made an impact from then till now, known and unknown. You see what I'm saying? And literary works for people to go research and, that essence of not having to look for our enemies for anything of worth and value. Like we have a bad habit of that. You see what I'm saying? So we get real philosophical and we sound real unlike self. You see what I'm saying? And we out here advocating for the devil. They're like, oh, well, let me play devil. Don't ever play or advocate for no devil with me because I'm not gonna let you. You understand? You can keep
Right.
that and save that for somebody else. So yeah. So
Okay.
I just wanted to assign a visual, space so they could see it. You see what I'm saying? And have that in that place right there. Look at Rocker.
Yeah, peace, Rocky. Yeah,
That's my brother
yeah.
right there.
Him and Musa be on here at the end of the month. Him and Rocker. Yeah,
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
yeah. Peace.
We living
Wise and
forever,
Rocky.
okay?
Yeah, what's
Wise
up,
and
Rocky?
gone, okay?
Shabazz? Yeah. All
Right.
right, man. So empowerment and legacy preservation are central to your work. How do you see media and storyteller playing a role to ensure that our history, our knowledge, and our cultural identity are passed down to future generations?
Yeah. You ain't playing. You ain't playing today, Kofi. You understand what I'm saying? You ain't playing. Uh Legacy, honestly, is the reason why Do Not's Radio was started and how and why it continues. So if you look at Do Not's Radio, you look at DTK Multimedia Production Company, you look at Voices of the Diaspora ebook series, you look at Voices of Diaspora, the docu series. All of it is tailored and custom made to legacy through storytelling, revolutionizing the mind to have it at a point to where God speaks to you in the signs and the symbols of your life. You look at your life, you sit down, you share your story, you share your family story. You sit down with your family, you hear those stories, all of a sudden, you're no longer looking for outside validation. You're looking for inside validation. You're waiting to hear some more, or know some more, learn some more. You are part of movements that need to be curated. If all we know about your research team is whatever pseudoscience y'all done destroyed, it cheapens the amount of time and effort of what it took in the visionary thing that's had in mind with its inception, the purpose for it. We have our own credentialing society that's here. That's a functionality. You understand? So we know that information that's put out, that's correct. There's a vetting system, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a vetting system. So that's something that you need in a society when you're talking about institution building, or you're talking about nation building. Where's the check and balance? You see what I'm saying? Like, where's the space of accountability? Like, yo, fam, like, so you in the class with the teacher and you ain't do your homework, and he or she know you ain't did your homework by how you showed up on the test, right? So when they hand you back that paper, you got that dog on F or E or whatever you got, it's your work that you presented. Now you have to go back and reevaluate who you represent. I had a discussion with my nephew a couple years back, and my sister was like, "Yo, you need to talk to your nephew." You know what I'm saying? He getting bad grades in school, and I talked to him. I said, "Hey, is the work hard?" He said, "No." I said, "All right, before we go there, do you know when you write your first name and your last name on the paper what that represents?" He said, "No." I said, "You are representing your bloodline, your mother's
Mm-hmm.
bloodline and your father's bloodline, and you're fixing this to the paper. This is all they know about the sum total of your ancestry.
Mm-hmm.
This is who you are representing when you ascribe those names." I said, "So why would you want to be an improper representation of who you are when you come from?"
Mm-hmm.
So your name associated with who you are, they may never meet them, but they meet you. But even if they don't meet you, they see your work. Is this your work? So you presenting your work for inspection, right? So now, what does that mean? That means that if you gave your best, you did everything you could possibly do, and you came up with a C, then you got a C. But I said, "Are you doing your best?" He said, "No." I said, "Will you do your best henceforward?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Why?" He said, "Because of who I am and who I represent." So when you start talking about legacy, that little short discussion got him from a C student to an A student
Mm-hmm.
because he didn't want to misrepresent his father and mother's lineage, and he didn't want to misrepresent himself. So all these things matter. So the importance of, the storytelling and sharing your story and documenting your story is for time immemorial. 1,000 years from now, if all they see is your story, that's all they'll know.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to tell your story. And the reason why I was saying that about this credentialing space is because in the last 30 years, the contributions that's had by our peer group has been vastly underrepresented. So you have a whole RBG movement, you have a whole Pan African movement cycle with music, with culture, with books, with families, all kinds of things. There were young Africans, young black children that were kids that are grown ups with kids now, and they were a part of movements. They were a part of after school programs, before school programs, weekend programs, rites of passage ceremonies, all of those things, and nobody has their story. Nobody has that story. Nobody has it uh, curated to where you could go look at it, you could go see it, you can go hear it, you can go read about it. So they just looked at it like they was living their life. We just looked at it like we were just living our life. We were just out there. So if we don't share that story, you know what they got from the last 20 years? BIE. You understand what I'm saying? So they saw all of these cultural, you know, movements, all of these uh, identity crisis removers. And they came up with a word. It's like, all right, BIE. So consciousness. And because we downplay consciousness and we start talking about so-called conscious community, you know what the answer to that was? Woke.
Mm-hmm.
So if we don't tell the stories, our stories are going to be told by our enemies, and they're going to advocate for the devil.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to speak to the God. They're going to advocate for the devil, right? So we have to tell our stories in true fashion. And
Mm-hmm.
it can't be relegated to uh, the misnomers or the degenerates that exist amongst us. It has to be told by the purveyors of those who carry the culture forward and their progeny, who are the inheritors of the culture, and they're going to continue on that great ascent of leaving that legacy in spirit and in truth. So we leave an inheritance for our children's children's children to the seventh and 10th generation. And we make that song by Raka Musa, We Living Forever. We're living forever for real. You know what I'm saying? So that story and that legacy space allows you to live forever abundantly and righteously. So now we can envision in our minds that who you are is enough. Who you are is what truly matters. They took that and made a Black Lives Matter movement, but movement is proof of life. So what are your movements? How are you moving out here? You see what I'm saying? So, definitely in regards to, you know, what the goal is behind the ebook series that will funnel into the uh, docu series, web series, is showcasing that, showcasing our stories from around the globe. So Roku, Amazon, Hulu, Tubi, and all these other devil's advocate spaces cannot any longer have a monopoly on our story. Everybody ain't putting on no dress. Everybody ain't no criminal. You understand? Like all of these things. Like where are the regular uh, black people? Where are the regular African people that's out there? They're not represented.
Mm, yeah.
So their story, there's only so long that they're gonna, be like, hey, I'm just here doing this, blah 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 blah. They're gonna start doing these other things that's getting the attention, right? So they start doing the clickbait performative type situation. You see what I'm
Mm,
saying? So once these stories are told and shared on an audacious goal, if it's 7 million people, 7 billion people on the planet, I can get a million of them. I can get a million black people. You see what I'm saying? I can get a million black people to share their stories and sub off a ripple effect of other black people getting into the business of sharing their stories, documenting their stories righteously, and sharing them with the world.
yeah. Most definitely, man. Um, as a motivational speaker, author, and media host, you engage with diverse perspectives within the Black community. How do you navigate ideology differences while maintaining a unified vision for Black liberation?
Greatest question I ever been asked. Okay, you about to get the award for the greatest question I've asked. I'm telling you. It's not difficult. It's not difficult. At the core, at the root, and at the capstone, we black people.
Mhm.
And I promise you, if you come to black people with respect, I lean to the functional definition of Dr. Joy DeGroot with respect. Her functional definition is to look again. Spec meaning look, read a prefix meaning again. So if you come to black people with respect, Christian, Muslim, atheist, Moor, Nuwabian, Hebrew, Pan African, Pan African nationalist. If you come at them with respect, they greet you with respect. If you
Mhm.
come at
Sure
them with
did.
disrespect, you're going to have war. It don't matter who it is.
Mhm.
So the Muslims say, oh, that's the God, now it's born. The Christian says, oh, that's the God, now it's born. The Hebrew Israelite says, oh, that's the God, now it's born. The atheist says, that's the God, now it's born. You understand? So it's love. It's love. It truly is love. My religion, if I had to pick one, is black people. The black family is our
Mm-hmm.
oldest and only religion. So that's
Mm-hmm.
a grand unifier. I could be in a place with everybody with different ideologies, and it's all love over here. They can argue back and forth, but they're not gonna argue with me. And even in my
Mm-hmm.
presence, they're not gonna argue with each other. They're gonna find a way to unify. So that unification is in the mind and in the heart, and then it goes into the reality. And I don't call black people in the spirit of Dr. Bobby Wright, in the spirit of Dr. Nellie Fuller Jr., in the spirit of Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, I don't call black people the N word.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? I don't call them the N word or the B word. I don't degrade somebody I'm looking to build up and unify with.
Right.
I know it's a colloquialism that's over here and it's popular and everybody got excuses why, but I promise you, you are not going to build anything of worth and value with people you disrespect and you disregard. They're not going to build with you either. So
Mm-hmm.
those young gods that are running around, those jits, those guys in training, if we allow the popular culture or the dominant culture to call them YNs, our children, our grandchildren, our great grandchildren, or if they're relegated to YNs, we're going to see a destruction like we've never seen before. So if they're in the category, all the black children, because they're not calling all children that, they're calling black children, they're calling African children. These are our progeny. These are our future. These are our ancestors' return that we like to say so much
Mm-hmm.
about. If they're relegated to YNs, if we relegate, oh, we're not our ancestors, we'll fight, we're stuck in the middle in a loop. We ascend from a space or descend from a space and ascend back to that space. We have to be mindful of the energy that we are putting out in the atmosphere in regards to what we speak. Are we speaking life or are we speaking desolation and degradation in what we do? So the goal, the aim, and the objective by us coming together indiscriminate to ideology. You know, the Muslim, the Christian, the Hebrew, the Jew, the atheist, the Nubian, all of them that come on my platform, they all come in and they treat it with love and respect, and they recommend in the space of love and respect. I'm telling you, they know who I am. They know I'm a Pan African warrior to the core. You understand? So the folks that's like, oh, we not African, they don't come at me with disrespect. You understand what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I understand
Mm-hmm.
where they come from. So, the Christians who crystallize in the mind of Christ, who are born again, and Jesus, their personal Lord and Savior, we don't got no issue because I understand that. The Muslim, we don't have no issue. Ramadan Mubarak to the Muslims that are fasting, we don't have no issue. So if we don't have no issue, there's not going to be an issue. That
Mm-hmm.
space of diversity is a space to be celebrated, not degraded. I know that there's a lot of platforms that capitalize off of divisiveness
Mm-hmm.
because they get paid off of that. I don't
Mm-hmm.
promote that. I promote organic solidarity and black love, and that's exactly how it translates.
And see, that's and that was something we was talking about before we went live too. And that's why I respect you and respect what you built over there at Do the Knowledge Radio, because it is a platform of integrity, right? And I was just saying this to Rakim Shabazz about 2 weeks ago when I had him on my platform. I've been on his platform a few times. And I support the brother over there and what he doing over there while it's on TV. And that's another space of integrity. So I only want to build with people who have integrity and trying to unify no matter what ideology you have. And I hadn't seen that yet on your platform over the years of you um, insulting someone because their ideology is different from your ideology. From your ideology, I always see you greet them with love and respect, and that's what I build over here. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know me for having good character, and that's something that we should have, especially those who deem to say that they are Pan-Africanists or Pan-African nationalists, and those who are practicing West African culture or tradition, they should know better, when we talk about good characters, because in each one of those cultures, it's all about cultivating good character. That is the cohesive, that is something that is ingrained in the elements of African spirituality, if that's what you call it, African traditional religion, if that's what you call it, or what I like to call it, or what Sar Imhotep and Black Panther like to call it, Kimuyo. You know what I'm saying? We know that in that element, it's about cultivating good character, right? You know what I'm saying? And you demonstrated in cultivating good character, as I have said numerous times on this platform. It is about respect. It is about, it is about love. It is about compassion. It is about empathy, right? It's about acknowledging someone else's existence. It's about so many different characteristics that comes with good character. And you exemplify that, man. And that's why a lot of people respect you and don't have a problem with going on the panel. I asked you something that I respect too, that I'll say before I get to my last question, is I always ask, and I have no problem. Like I like organic interviews. I don't like the interviews where I have to send the person a question. But if the person requests the questions in advance, I have no problem with that. And I have had some superb interviews with people I have gave the questions to. You said, nah, brother, you can ask me anything. And when you said that, it made me say, okay, well, maybe, he's been watching me and he understands what I stand for. He understands that this platform is a safe platform. He understands that this platform is integrity. I see him greeting, the guests with respect and love and admiration. So I know it's not going to be no funny business. I know it's not going to be no questions to diminish my character or try to make me look bad or try to son me or little boy me just to stroke his ego. So now you can ask me anything. That's what I took out of it, and and I understand certain people when going on certain platforms or going on any platforms, they want the question in advance, because a lot of platforms have that divisiveness and that funny business when it comes to their platform or division and talking about somebody else because they don't believe in the same thing they believe in, or their ideology and perspective is totally different than their perspective. We can't get nowhere if we divide it, right? And we have so many different templates out there through the historical record where our people, whether they was a Muslim, whether they was a Hebrew Israelite, whether they was some form of a Christian, whether they was a Moor, whether they was a gods and earth, no matter what they was believing in, we got templates where organizations was created and you had all these different people and these different ideology, and it was successful at one point that we can go back and study those, and study the mistakes that they made and where we don't make those same mistakes, man. But yeah, man, I'm in totally agreement with everything that you were saying, man. So my last question is, looking ahead, what are your goals for Do the Knowledge Radio, and how do you envision it continuing its impact on the Black community in years to come?
I'm telling you, boy, I came on here with Kofi, man, and Kofi got a book out of me, okay? Kofi got a book out of me.
I definitely can write one
out of me tonight. Yeah, it's beautiful. Because a lot of those things are for the book series and for the docu-series. So, looking ahead, Do Not's Radio started off one way. And then from Do Not's Radio, a lot of things were morphed out of it. DTK Empower You Youth Services came out of that. DTK Strategic Planning services came out of there. There was so many things that came out of there in regards to that. When you look at those things, you see it morph into DTK Multimedia Production Company. So DTK Multimedia Production Company has an onus of combating the negative, improper propaganda campaign ways that our people from the mainstream media and the entertainment industry. So one of the questions, the research questions that spawned from the books, that's not the ebooks. I got 5 books that I'm writing that are, physical books. One of the research questions is, does the hip hop industry owe Black people reparations? So that's a book, and that's a series, documentary series. Another is, why are we still referring to ourselves as the N word and the B word? So that's a book, and that's a docu-series. The series of Dudenon's Radio. Some of the past guests that I had on, get to share their insightful experience, and some of the things that I heard from some of the people who came on the platform. I was bugged out. I can't front, Brother Kofi. I was like, you understand what I'm saying? When you ask people questions, you get these answers, right? So it's amazing. And one of the last ones is identity in crisis. Africans in America, too Black for America, not Black enough for Africa, right? So going through those and flushing out some of these issues. There is a 400, 500-year-old divide in regards to how we identify ourselves in America. It's not a new phenomenon. So the foundational Black American movement, the ADOS movement, that was a discussion in the 1600s. That was a discussion. That's how old it is. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so it's an old thing and it's a new thing. So it becomes reframed over time, and people have the prerogative to identify themselves however they choose, but it shouldn't be at the expense of someone else. So if you identify as a foundational Black American, respect due. If you identify as ADOS, respect due. We don't have to have fratricidal spaces where we get visceral and disrespectful to one another because we choose to identify in a manner. That manner is befitting to them, and that's where it's supposed to come from. Your family is supposed to be able to tell you who you are and who you're not. So if that's your walk, then that's your walk. You understand what I'm saying? So respect due to those folks who have aggressively created that space to where, okay, I want to be identified this way and I would want to be under this flag. And for us who have this other flag, you could judge a nation by its flag. You could judge a tree by the fruit that it bears. Are we upholding that flag? Are we being the standard bearers for that space? So looking ahead through Knowledge Radio, its expansion into us morphing into DTK Multimedia with a news arm, with a literary arm, with a cinematic arm, and with a music arm. So music, movies, docuseries, books, and journalism. So all of these opportunities going forward, and to be known as a premier platform that is there at the behest and at the helm of Black people all over the planet. So, and if you Black, you understand what I'm saying? If you Black and you want to share your story and you're living affirming Black life, you say that because everybody don't qualify. That disqualifies people. If you live a life affirming, repeating Black life, we want to hear from you. We want to hear from your story, and we want to share your story with the world. So going forward, we're just continuing on this journey and this goal and this aim and this trajectory towards sharing 1 million Black stories authentically, without cut, with the world, and so many derivatives that come along with that.
No doubt, man. No doubt. I love it, man. I love it. The sub branding you got, it's all about sub branding, man. Those other different faculties can always bring them back to the main powerhouse. That's the ability of sub branding, and that's the direction I've been moving in as well. To literary, to the media, to children's services, and so forth, man. And that's where we all need to be headed at, man. I love it, man. I definitely love it. I appreciate you, Knowledge Born. I learned so much, man. You know, by your answers, man. And I learned a whole lot. I feel like I know you a whole lot more, man, just by this hour and 14 minutes, man, that we've been on here, man. So for people who may want to reach out to you, man, how can you give them your contacts, all your social medias?
And definitely, I want to thank you first for sustaining an integral platform and platforms, with an S, in a time where calamity, trauma bonding, drama, uh, visceral attacks, subliminals, and all of that becomes the order of appears to be the order of the day. So you have a
Mhm.
platform of integrity, a platform of love, and you extend that out to you know, our people. So I think, one of these sacred spaces, these safe havens, should be saluted, should be supported, and should be highlighted and celebrated. So, I ask anybody who tuned in to see me here to continue to support, to get those literary works. This brother has a family. The family's writing. Everybody writing in the family. You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like ain't nobody sitting on their hands. You understand?
Uh,
Everybody is involved, actively
mhm.
engaged in moving the culture forward from an entrepreneurial perspective and it's just a genuine black love perspective as that's something to be shared, something to be honored. So
Mhm.
honest to you and honest to your righteous family. I look forward to having you and your family on and you and your team on to curate your experiences
Oh,
and your walk as a researcher and research team and everybody collaborating together. So people can find me. Let me see if how I move out of the way. Do the Knowledge Radio. That's how it's spelled. Okay, that A for African. You understand what I'm saying? That A for African. So
yeah.
DOTHAKNOWLEDGERADIO or by my name. Do the Knowledge One Allah 357 on Instagram or Facebook or wherever, or email me at donaldsradio.com. If you donaldsradio at gmail.com and check out my website, donaldsradio.com. So you can get the ebook series. I had them on sale until tomorrow for $28. You can get all
Mhm.
6 volumes, the ebook bundle, uh,
Mhm.
through PayPal, paypal.me/do knowledge radio or Cash App $ knowledge one line. You put your email address in there and I'll send it to you ASAP. So
Mhm.
that's for now. But if you go on my website, if you're so desirous, you can go on my website and you can get the ebook bundle series, all 6 volumes on my website as well. So either way it goes, you got it there. It's just not up there as a discounted price, but it's full price. So if you love me like that, you want to pay full price. I don't care nothing about no sale. I want to pay full price. Hey, you go up there and you can get it and you'll have it in no limited time. So uh, we're moving forward. I got some trailers, so if you invite me back on, we get these trailers together. Y'all can actually see what this
Yeah.
docu series is
Mhm.
actually looking like. Some of the people that's going to be in it as well. Uh, Great opportunities again to highlight and celebrate our cultural narrative. It's ours. So yeah, definitely thank you again, and I'm honored to be here. And I look forward to collaborating with you and working with you and your team in any way or capacity that I can.
No doubt, most definitely, man. You are this is your home now, man. So anytime you want to come back and promote anything, man, or you need something from me, man, just reach out to me. I can't wait to definitely be on your platform. I'll be probably reaching back out to you again um here in a day or two and let you know, man. You know, far I'm ready anytime. It's just my son and my daughter. My daughter stay with me with my son, though. So working out some schedule. My son does basketball a lot. He's a basketball player, and work out his schedule and his training and stuff like that. And most definitely we'll be able to make that happen as well, man. So anything that you need from me, man, or want to collaborate with me on anything, man, most definitely, I'm definitely gonna continue to try to get the word out there, man. I may try to create some type of piece of content surrounding around your 3 books when I get through. I mean your 6 books, ebooks. Once I finish the last 3, I done knocked out the first 3. So I'm within the next 2 days, I'm gonna knock out those other 3, man. I'm gonna probably create some content behind it, man, and try to direct people, you know what I'm saying, and get it. But y'all better take advantage like I did and the other folks did. What? Oh yeah, what my fly at, man? I said, man, he shared
I sent you one.
Yeah.
I sent you one.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know if you wanted me. Was it for me to post or you was gonna post it? I must go in there and snatch it, man, tonight. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I said,
Yeah. I sent it to you.
I bought it. I bought the series, But but yeah, I will go in there, man. I'm always gonna support, man. So so y'all go out there and support, man. Your dollars are gonna be well spent, right? We spend our money on all type of frivolous things, right? Go and support the brother, and get all 6 of the series. Take advantage right now, as he said, hitting him up personally and getting all of the series for $28. You know what I'm saying? Because you said after Sunday it's going back to regular price, huh?
Right.
Right. See, it won't be no more bundle price. Then you be paying full price on the website, y'all. So go and support the brother. He's definitely doing some great things out here, man. And we out of here, man. We'll see y'all next Sunday. I'll be back next Sunday with Mike Chambers on the Warrior Scholar Show. I'm gonna start spreading these things out. I can't do back to back no more. I got so much going on. I can't do back to back. So Mike Chambers next Sunday. Sunday for next. I mean, the Sunday after we'll have the Young Warrior, Young Gaddafi, and then the Sunday after that we'll have Raka and Musa on the channel. And yeah, I'm looking forward to those interviews as well. And also, these interviews will be on Vengeance Radio. All these episodes from Warrior Scholar Show will be uploaded pretty soon on Vengeance Radio. So go check out Vengeance Radio. Powerful radio station, you know what I'm saying, for us, by us, you know what I'm saying. So he has music, but he's also want to be able to have some of these discussions as well on the platform, not just music, but powerful discussions from different podcasts. So y'all be on the lookout for that. And we out of here, man. I'm gonna leave y'all again with Stig Stigalo, and we'll see y'all when we see y'all, man. Peace.